It always somehow gets worse, doesn't it? Just when I think, we've hit rock bottom. I mean, maybe in some theories this would be, the Harrison Burns thing would be like considered like rock bottom, but this is just another layer of just the insanity that is this season. It really is. It really is. It doesn't cease to amaze me the sheer amounts of fudgery that continue to happen. Like, what is it going to take for things to change? I don't think anything. But at this race, we can't just talk about, that was he won. It like wins feel like a transaction. Brockbeard said that like perfectly. It feels like a transaction. Like when Ross Chastain won at Kansas, that's all they kept like iterating was Ross Chastain won, but he's not in the playoffs. Did you get that? He's not in the playoffs. He's not contending for a chance. Like, what are we doing? That's also like gross. So it almost feels like winning a race means nothing in the playoffs if you're a non-playoff guy. That's what it's treated like as. It's like it doesn't mean anything, and like wins don't feel like special anymore. Because it's always like, oh well, this you could swipe that to the playoffs, and you win the playoffs, well, that swipes you to the next round. So let's before I actually go insane and like go on a freaking schizophrenic rage, let's try to explain this before I dive into insanity here. So Logano wins. Anytime Logano wins is usually a bad day. I mean, he's kind of like fluked into multiple wins this season with Nashville, where he was like well outside of top 10, but because of people running out of fuel and multiple overtimes, he got the lead through pure nonsense. In Atlanta, it's a play track. I don't really value play tracks as much of really anything anymore, so it doesn't really matter. Now today, yeah, he wins mainly because of fuel strategy, and if it was just fuel strategy, I'd be like, all right, well, that's kind of fuel strategy isn't like the same as dominating a race or anything, but you know what, whatever. I wouldn't even be making this video if he just won on fuel strategy. Like, that's not even the point. The point, what gets me really angry, what really bothers me, is mystically, magically, and conveniently, Ryan Blaney pits on lap 259 out of a 267 lap race. For what reason? I don't know, other than he is now 32nd behind Logano trying to run down Suarez, and Blaney's just pushing him. And he's just pushing him on the back straightaway. Just every instance, being a teammate, pushing him. I'm not really a fan of that. It seems like you're intentionally putting Blaney in a situation of, oh, well, he just happened to be in front of him. Oh, it's just pure luck. No, what's little fucky ducky is that Ryan Blaney to be behind and pushing him. That's kind of goes against the spirit of racing. It's not just, oh, Ryan Blaney's a lap down and he's blocking. Like, okay, there's tiers of bad. It's like it's kind of what happened with Kurt Busch winning at Atlanta in 21 with Chastain. But Chastain just kind of held his line, and it wasn't like, blocking or anything. He just was in the lane. Kyle happened to be there. It was a bad choice. You could argue that. But that's nowhere near as egregious as your teammate behind you that just pitted and pushing him. And then as soon as Logano gets the lead, he just fudges right off. He just backs way off and just lets him have it. Then Bell's catching because Bell's on fresh tires. Hey, we'll block, mirror drive. I'll block his air. Like, what is that? Ryan Blaney's like as cool as he can be. It's just gross. It's just gross. Penske seems to tend to just really do shady shit. And sorry, I'm not gonna buy Ryan Vargas' excuse of shrug emoji. Well, they did what they had to do. That's what Austin Dillon did too. He did what he had to do. Does that make it morally right? No. I mean, obviously this is way worse, but like this, and the other thing too that drives it insane is instead of it just being he helped them for a race win, this helps them get into the playoffs in the Final Four. Joe Logano, same driver that didn't make it on points the week before, and Bowman made it, but then Bowman got a penalty for weight reduction, which, I mean, considering he hit the curbs and like I saw like a chunk of his car literally fly off. I mean, maybe that may have something to do with it. So Bowman justly, I don't know, gets penalized for that. That's just, I don't know. But now this gives Logano a chance, and now he's in the Final Four, really with the help of his teammate. I'm not really a fan of it. I mean, his average finish is what, 17.9? He's 15th in points right now. I don't know where he was going into Vegas. I think some said it was 18th, but I don't trust the internet because one time I thought Briscoe was like 20th or something in points, and it turned out he was like 17th or 16th or something. I don't know. I don't trust it. I should just check Racing Reference just to be sure, so I don't get freaking fact checked to oblivion in the comments. But yeah, so this is where we're at. We just continue to dive deeper and deeper into the bull honky, and this is why I'm out. I wish other people would just get this Stockholm syndrome out of their system and just leave. Just leave. Don't put up with this garbage. It's been nice to not really care. I mean, granted, when you're on camera, you kind of play it up a little bit. I'm a little annoyed though. A little bit annoyed because it's just stupid. I'm pretty sure his average finish is what, 17.9 this year? No, 17.5. Oh, I was 0.4 decibels off. Oh. But yeah, he's going into Championship 4 with, I think, statistically the worst average finish of the Championship 4 ever. Say goodbye to Ryan Blaney, Jimmy Johnson's 14 average finish or whatever it was. This is way worse. I mean, it's just embarrassing. And the fact that he's even in contention for a championship is an absolute joke and a farce of the point system itself and how it just continues to be trash and slop every single year. To varying degrees of stupid. This is just maybe the most abundantly clear example. I don't know how much how much bluntly it needs to be clearer to illustrate of just how nonsensical it is. Because he's 15th. So now in the history books, in the annals of time, he is no worse going to finish than 4th, at the bare minimum. Driver that was 15th in points. There's a chance he can bump up more in points, but is it realistically expected? Like, even if it's 10th, he magically just pulls off 2 more wins and goes up from 15th to 10th or something. That's still 10th is not better than 4th. And they always talk about, the cream rises to the top. It's like, well, not really. But sort of, because it's all about peaking at the right time. You can run, terrible. Or just good enough. But then if you knock off like 5-6 good races right at the end of the year, you're champion. That's stupid. That doesn't mean anything. It's so nonsensical. Every year we have to go through it. I don't know what it's going to take for things to change. I don't think it's ever going to change. But it's so broken. Everything is such a mess. It just needs to be... I would say, I wish it could be just eradicated and we go back to a Winston Cup format where literally, the point system right now. And that's the other thing, too. I made this tangent, too, of Dave Moody and Mamba Smith, 2 spearheads of idiocy, decided to be like, there was like 10 weeks left in the season. So right when the playoffs started, they saw the Winston Cup thing and be like, Tyler Reddick's going to run away with the championship. It's boring. That's Snorville. No. We got 10 races left. And the points battle's still really close. It's still like within 3 or 4 drivers. Tyler Reddick didn't run away with 10 or, This is why you don't say stupid shit like that. If you want to make a claim, if Reddick had like a 200 plus point lead in the Winston Cup form, which is over a race, and you're going to sit there and say, he's going to clinch it up. If there was like 5 races left and you're saying, he's going to clinch it up with 3. Maybe you have an argument. Potentially. But with 10 weeks left, almost a fourth of the season left, yeah, I wouldn't say that. I would say he's going to clinch it with 3 or 4 weeks left. When he only had like a 1 race point lead at that moment. 1.5, 1.25, whatever. So that was stupid. So it's fun to be right. And it's really funny that those people, or at least Dave Movie's like, I don't care about the format. I don't care about Winston. And then you actively jump into the pit with everyone else. And be like, then you'll stand on your little soapbox and then criticize it. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that, Dave Moody. So that's stupid. So yeah, I don't know what more you really want out of me. It's just embarrassing. I would say if Logano wins a championship, I would stop watching. But I kind of already checked out. I kind of already did. I'm just glad Truex flipped Reddick's bitch ass in Vegas, the same track that ruined Austin Terrio's career, but thanks to Reddick. So that's like poetic. That makes the whole year. I want a race car of that Truex car for Vegas specifically. Race win detail and all. Thank you, Truex, for flipping Tyler Reddick's bitch ass. That is the greatest thing ever. That was good. That was good shit. Anyways, I don't even know. I don't. It's just embarrassing, man. It's just you cannot look at the format and think that this is like legit. And I would say that NASCAR is the only one that's doing it, so who cares? But supercars are now doing it. So I guess it's just festering into every other racing series. And I hope I die long before F1 and IndyCar start to happen. I hope I don't have to live long enough to see that happen, because then we are just doomed as a racing society. And dirt racing, well, I think dirt racing's already kind of the pinnacle of racing, honestly, but it's just a joke. It's an absolute joke. So enjoy your slot if you're still gonna commit to watching like next year, or you're still gonna be a fan. I don't know how you put up with it. I put up with it for like 25 years, and I kind of broke free to Stockholm, but I can't deny it's fun to make a video dunking on NASCAR's dumb because it's fun, because it's quite embarrassing how they keep falling into the beehive and just destroying their reputation. They destroyed the foundation of this. I mean, how many instances have we had where, I mean, Dale Jr. was like another example, and I'm a Dale Jr. sim, so of course I remember, but he was like top 5 in points all year, but because of how the format is, and when he got eliminated, it like jumbled up the points for him, and now it's in the record books, it says he's 11th in points when he was like really like a 5th place driver all year. You can't go by what the actual point standings are anymore to like compare stuff, because it's a mess. And sorry, I'm not going to be in the universe to accept the fact that Joey Logano's 2-dive champ while Kevin Harvick isn't. And mind you, I have no stake in the matter. I don't have a bias towards Harvick. I don't have a bias towards Logano. I don't care about either. I'm just looking at race car driver A and race car driver B. And by all merits, by all stats, Harvick is way better than Logano. But because of the format, now it's like, well, I guess Logano's better because he's got more championships. But then other drivers say that like they don't even really care about winning the championship. So talk about devaluing your own championship when you have drivers within your drivers, the competitors, even saying, I don't really care. So what does it matter? It's just an empty cup that holds no value. Might as well just be paper. It's so sad. It's so sad because I remember watching the Before Allen documentary that Brockbeard made, and they're talking about in reverence of the championship and how much it means something. And it gets me emotional. I want to cry thinking about it, because it's like, it's not like that anymore. Championships aren't treated like that. I guess, granted, Allen's championship was really special, obviously. But they treated it with a lot more respect because it meant more. Because you had to run, consistently 30 races, 36 races. And when I say I want to go back to the Winston, it doesn't mean going back to the 1974 format where they had different points for different tracks. No, that's not what I mean. But even what we have now, the point, like the points, like the way they have, like, I don't mind the concept of stages. I don't mind it. It's just a fact that we have to throw out a caution for it, because apparently, I thought cautions meant, for like an unsafe track condition, not for the safety of the fans' boredom. We got to make sure the fans are not bored, so we got to wave that flag at scheduled distance. Fans gotta have their potty break. No one can hold their bladder. We got old fans, their urethras, they can't hang on. It just continues. It's so frustrating, because even I, as a simp Winston Cup fanboy, I would say that's not 100% accurate, because the drivers do race a little bit differently. They race with stages in mind, stuff. So I do think the racing reference is a bit more accurate. And what we have currently is, well, Kyle Larson has a 28-point lead over Christopher Bell. And even if Kyle Larson somehow does just pull away and he doesn't win or wins the championship, and it's not exciting, it's not a Game 7, it's okay. Racing isn't always supposed to have Game 7 moments. In the years where there was like champions that clinched it before the end of the season or anything, Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte, Jeff Gordon, fans still came to the track because fans want to see the race. It's not, the championship isn't the end-all be-all thing. But you still want it to matter. You still want it to feel right. You don't want someone coming in. I don't know. It's like the equivalent of, you're like at work and you're busting your ass to doing something the whole time. The other person, over there is just kind of just sitting there. Oh, I'll do a little bit. I'll go back. I'm gonna go vape. I'll come back. A couple minutes, and then like after like a whole hour, then it's like they only really work for like 20 minutes, and the other 40 and then you go and take a piss break. or something happens and you get like a spontaneous bloody nose, then you gotta go wipe and clean up. And then when you're gone, the person that was just vaping for 40 minutes comes back, and now he gives 110%, and then you're going to give him like the Employee of the Month award. Like, you see how like nonsensical, I mean, it's a ridiculous comparison, but you see how like, it's just stupid. It's completely stupid. I'm tired of it. People, I don't know why you don't wake up. Put those vents where the mouth is, and simply do not turn on the TV and watch going into next year. Because I guess this, that's all you gotta do. Hit it where it hurts. Don't watch. I know it's like don't watch, but that will actually hurt them. And this is coming from someone that grew up and cared about the sport for so long, and to see it kind of whittle away, it's like watching a drug addict. It's just sad. No matter how much you scream at the wall trying to help them make them get better, it's like, not that I'm saying like NASCAR's don't listen to me, but it's like, people are saying the most obvious shit of what's wrong, and they don't try to fix it. The format is so broken, and it's just sad that nothing's ever going to change. They want that Game 7 moment. They want that guaranteed hype every year, and it's just exhausting. It's exhausting just watching, because it's just like, oh, well, there's a 25% chance that Larson may win a championship, but there's a 25%, 75% chance he may not. So it's, and as of right now, based on the points, Larson is the best all year, even missing a race. He should be champion. And Bell should be rightfully second. William Byron should rightfully be fourth. William Byron should not be finishing behind fucking Logano. Somehow Byron doesn't get it. Like, everything is so messed up that you have to do so much legwork of comparing drivers or doing anything, because what the actual points are so broken. But hey, Ryan Vargas said, they did what they had to do. Shrug emoji. I should have made a video on the Parker Kligerman thing, because that was stupid. I should have, but I just didn't, for whatever reason. I don't know, because that was stupid. And it's just gross. I don't know what more really to say. I keep saying it. It's just terrible. I am not a Funkle right now. I'm not Funkle. I'm angry. Where's the angry emoji that YouTube gives? I'm that. Like the orange angry emoji. Orange of all colors. That's like my channel theme. Man, it just continues to get, it's just embarrassing. I got nothing. 17.5 average finish is now going to finish no worse than fourth in the points. And one of the championship four, or at least one of them, is going to get bumped out that deserves way more. And it's happened so many times, probably every year to some varying degree, whether it be Jay McMurray in 2004, where he was like 11th after Richmond, then he jumps up to 6th in the standings because he had a phenomenal 10 races, but it doesn't matter because he didn't make it, so who cares? It doesn't really matter. Tony Stewart, 2006, he was 11th, and he, jumped up way more, winning a bunch of races and being really good. But he's not going to finish any better than 11th. It's always been stupid. Or 2011 Stewart, where he was like 10th in points, barely made it, and then he just racks off, 5 wins in the last 10, and then he's tied it. That was the one where everybody should have realized it. I kind of thought of it back then too, where like this is the end of consistency. Like this was the battle of, that race was more of like a battle of all season consistency versus the modern era of just, be good when right at the end. That was the battle. And consistency lost. Consistency, I would say, almost is dead. And Logano even backed into the beginning of the playoffs through a nonsensical Nashville win. So how does that? It's just, I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's so exhausting. I don't know how you fans put up with it. Because Bowman's is like a tragedy with him, because he just straight up raced in and beat Logano for that spot on pace. And now Bowman's now going to have no instance of finishing ahead of Logano. It's just, and Bowman's like 8th in points. He's been respectable. So I don't know. I don't even know anymore. It's just, I don't know. Enjoy your your nonsense, because like, man, it's been miserable this year. I mean, granted, this year has had like, you know, a couple exciting finishes, but it's all at the expense of a green white checkered, and it doesn't really feel the same compared to like Darlington 2003, where it was like a 53 lap green flag run that happened organically to have a close finish, not just like a, you know, green white checkered where the chances of an exciting finish are ramped up a lot more. But I don't think 4 or 5 really good races save the other 28, because it's just too much bad. It's like watching like a 2-hour movie, and then maybe you get 2 minutes of a good, like 2 minutes of action that are good, but then everything else is terrible. It doesn't really save the season. I guess you could be like, oh, well, you're a glass half empty person. I guess so. But if the glass is like 20 feet tall and the glass is like 1 foot full, then I'm going to say it's mostly empty based on the numbers. I don't know. This is way longer than it should have been. But I haven't really made one of these in a really long time. So, whatever. And I don't know. It's just borderline manipulation, borderline, oh, well, that's what they had to do, but is it really ethically right? Or it kind of goes in the spirit of racing, too. So it's just not a fan of that. It's just a mess. This is where we're at. This is like the fact that even worked is like, if this was a Gen 4 car, it never would have happened. Because Gen 4 cars were designed to where you would wreck doing that. But no, because these cars are boxy, you can just, you know, slot and slam into them like a bumper car. And what a mess. What a mess. But hey, whatever. I hope Logano wins the championship so we could have his, you know, 3rd championship, and he could be reveled in the same vein as freaking Cale Yarborough or something, even though that's like nonsensical. But NASCAR is going to hype it up to be like that or something. And it's like, no, he did it 3 in a row in under a format where it was a lot, I would say, a lot harder. But I guess objectively, this would be kind of harder to win a championship under, because it's so just random. But it's one race though. No. See, my brain is like falling apart. I almost accepted the madness. No, I'm done. I'm gonna get going. I am just too tired of this. See you all at Phoenix, or maybe something sooner if something absolutely insane happens. But we will see. I will have there will at least be an annual Phoenix review in some form that I've done at the championship finale for what feels like a few years. So that'll at least be a certain. So bye.